Yo, what up everybody, it's your boy Robacus and welcome to my first ever Mario Kart Tour tutorial. Today's tutorial is on bonus challenges, the little challenges that you see at the end of every cup. Anyhow guys, to start this thing off, we're going to start with the ring race. Alright, so to start off with the ring challenge, the first thing you got to know is to complete this challenge, you have to drive through rings. They give you a little minimum right here. That's going to be enough to get 1 star, but you want 3. And to do that, you're going to have to get around triple that amount. That's normally where it's about. So, to do this, remember one thing. Look at your environment. Look to see if using a starter boost is going to hurt you or not. Because the truth is, it's harder to drive and turn if you're already going too fast. Another thing that I do whenever I play these ring races is I ensure that I keep myself directly in the middle of the track. After doing so, what I also do is ensure that when I do turn, I turn ever so slightly so that I do not turn out of control. Now, there are certain maps and certain tricks that must be accomplished to get every ring. However, for the most part, just to get enough to pass and or get 3 stars, you generally do not have to worry about doing those trick shots. The thing is, that's for people who like to show off. And honestly, nobody shows off the ring race when it comes to videos online. The next challenge we are going to go over is the glider challenge. The object of this challenge is to glide as far as possible. This is one of those challenges where you absolutely want to use a starter boost in the beginning, because the faster you go, the further you're gonna fly. Now, one of the tips and tricks I can tell you about this is you want to ensure that, again, like the last challenge, you are indeed looking at your environment and you are pulling back on your character to get a little bit more airtime. Ensure that you can hit every single floater or boost or mushroom or whatever it is that's going to keep you in the air as possible, and stay as straight as possible. As long as you can stay straight, unless you have to turn or avoid some kind of foreign object, you are going to go as far as possible. So if you do go off track, make sure you get back on track and stay straight. The next challenge we're going to go over is the Goomba Takedown, one of my favorite challenges. So in this one, the object of the game is to destroy and beat up as many Goombas as possible. And to do that, you're going to have a plethora of weapons at your disposal. In this challenge, you have to understand every single item in the game, because they're going to throw all kinds of random things at you in all kinds of different angles. For instance, with a green shell, sometimes you got to know how it's going to bounce or how it's going to move or where it's going to move. Like for instance, if you're taking a jump and you're throwing a shell, you have to know that it's at the very top of that jump that you can throw that shell and hit something in the air, because the green shell tends to have a tendency, that was redundant, to go straight down to the ground as fast as possible. Another thing that you got to consider is this: you want to hold on to those items. You don't want to get rid of them, because having more items may make it so you can hit more Goombas. So if you see a singular Goomba by itself, go ahead, crash into it, still counts. Besides that, sometimes they're going to give you big mushrooms where you're going to have to hit 2 Goombas at a time. They'll try and throw you off by sending speed boosts. You have to make sure that your angles are correct. And much like the other challenges, ensure that you are looking at where you're going before you get there, because they will try to trip you up. Maximize the amount of Goombas you take down. Make sure you get about at least triple the amount that they're asking for, and you will claim all 3 stars. The next challenge we're going to go over is the Snap a Photo challenge. This one can actually be difficult or very easy depending on if you know how this works. So for the most part, this is normally what they do. They tell you to take a picture with 2 to 3 characters in the frame, either jumping, gliding, or doing something weird. One thing that can trip you up when it comes to jump boost is you have to take the picture in the middle of the animation for a jump boost and not while they're still in the air. It just has to be during the animation when this little glow pops up. Secondly, you have to understand how fast your character is in comparison to the other characters around you. That way you know when to take the picture, because some characters are going to be faster than you and some aren't. The best way to understand this is to understand the original Mario Kart game, and I can tell you this: the heavier the character is, the bigger they are, the faster they are. How does that make sense? I have no idea. I think Nintendo's on crack. But that's normally how it works. Sometimes you're going to have characters that are around the same speed as you, so you're not going to have a hard time taking the picture with characters like that. The next challenge we're going to go over is the block break challenge. This one's kind of like a mixture between the Goomba Takedown and the ring race. Basically, you want to stay in the center because the boxes tend to gravitate towards the center. You want to understand the items that you have, because sometimes you're going to need a speed boost, or you're going to need to take a corner a little faster, or you could possibly use other items to destroy other items, but you rarely ever see that. And honestly, there's not much more I can say about it other than you have to ensure that you're very precise. Try not to turn so drastically. Try to do just like you did in the ring race and turn ever so slightly, just so that you're not getting out of the way. Because trust me, it's very easy to take a wide turn and miss a couple boxes if you overdo your turn. Break around 3 times the amount they're asking for, and you will claim all 3 stars. The next challenge that we're going to do is the jump boost challenge. Now, again, this one is kind of like pretty much the other ones, except for instead of going for items, now you're going for jump boost. The only thing that makes this one a little more difficult, yet a little more easier than the other challenges that we've reviewed so far, is the jump boost are generally scattered all over the place, so you can't stay in the center in this time. You have to actually know the map and know what you're looking at. Know what you can jump off, know what you can't. A good example of things you can jump off of, believe it or not, are Goomba heads if they're ever on the map. And ensure you take a route that gives you the most jumps possible. Make all the jumps, and say it with me, get around 3 times as many as they're asking for, and you will claim all 3 stars. Not much more to say about that. The next challenge is the time trial. This one is very, very self-explanatory. All you gotta do is finish the race as fast as possible. You're racing against the clock. When it comes to the best time, I'm going to be honest with you, I really haven't gotten down how they calculate what the best time is. This one's generally not that hard, but if you want to impress your friends or just be a show-off, all you got to do is know the map well enough to know where to use a mushroom, because they always give you 2 mushrooms in the beginning. Okay? Problem is this: you got to know where to use those mushrooms. And if you by some miracle have a map where there is no area where a mushroom makes sense, just use it on the second lap right in the beginning to make up for the fact that, well, you used the speed boost, but now you got a secondary speed boost. Another thing I would add is, to get the best time, you normally want to make sure that whenever you're on a straightaway, you're facing completely straight, because turning too much actually slows you down a little bit when it comes to time. The next challenge we're going to go over is the combo challenge. Alright, so the combo challenge is fairly simple. You just have to string together as many combos as possible. Now, you normally want to get triple the amount of combo points as they're asking for, but when it comes to this one, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, try to get a non-stop combo, because non-stop combos are, that's how it's supposed to be done, and honestly, that's going to actually help your game in the actual races at some point, because you get a lot more points for doing non-stop combos. Now, to perform that, you have to understand not only the level, but your items and the obstacles on the level. So, for you to do this, I'm going to tell you this. If you know how to drift and you're very good at it, make sure you do it. I know for a fact that in these combo challenges, they do give you mushrooms here and there. Those are going to help you during the portions of time where you're in between one combo point and another, where for whatever reason they decided not to put anything in between that can give you a combo point. It's going to make up for it. That's basically what's going to happen. It's going to make up for those little spaces where there's nothing there to help you get a combo. Past that, make sure you understand how to string combos together, whether it be your mini turbo boost, jumps, your mushrooms, hitting something, items. I mean, there's not much more to explain about that. Another thing that you can look at is, again, like I said before, situational awareness. One last time. Get triple the amount they wanted, and you'll get them 3 stars. The next challenge we're going to be talking about is the Avoid the Obstacles challenge. Anyhow, so this one is basically, there's only one rule for this one. You want to avoid anything on the map. And the best way to do that is to use that situational awareness I was telling you guys about. Make sure you know where you're going before you go. However, I'm going to be real with you, sometimes they like to sneak stuff on you. And sometimes they end up giving you weapons to fight against the things on the map, which means you need to ensure you are saving those items for the right moment. Survive with all 3 balloons and you will claim all 3 stars. And last but not least, we are going to go over the Crush the Dry Bones challenge. So for the Crush the Dry Bones challenge, it's almost exactly like the Break Boxes challenge. As a matter of fact, they're almost cut and dry. If you do pretty much the same exact thing, you're going to be fine. The only difference is they always add an area where you're going to have a Mega Mushroom. Just hold on to it until you find a spot where the dry bones are, they're really, what is the word, conglomerated together? They're really put together, like they're compacted, like they're all together. You got a bunch in one spot, but you're just not big enough to hit them all. That's when you use your Mega Mushroom. And then once again, say it with me, folks. Get triple the amount that they asked for, and you will claim those 3 stars. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Like and subscribe if you want to. Shout out to the little nephews and cousins. Hopefully next time they have the 2 other challenges that normally show up on the tours that they didn't have this time. And one of them being my favorite is the boss battles and the big reverse race. Those are going to be 2 good videos. That's probably going to be my next challenge video. Again, like I said, hope you guys had a good one. Hit me up if you need anything. You can always add a comment if you want to see me do a tutorial on something specifically. And I'll see you guys in the next one.